Hello and welcome to Heiser Media's coverage of the 2026 New Jersey State Championships presented by Innova Champion Discs. We are here in Morris Plains, New Jersey at the Greystone Woods Disc Golf Course. I'm Matt Bruder, joined in the booth today by Brett Hensley. How you doing today, Brett?
Hey, Matt. Good to join you again. Can't wait to watch some disc fly here. One of the best tournaments in our area, New Jersey State Championships. So let's look how the first round went. We got Dylan Horst in the lead at 9 under from Westchester, Pennsylvania. Zach Sisson, Hutton, New York, -7 in second place, followed by Andrew Brown at -6, and rounding out lead card, Eric Schubert at -5. Who's that cool guy throwing a disc there on third card?
I don't know, but it looks like he took a bogey. That's all I want to say about that. Starting off this beautiful track, we are playing blue to blue here at Greystone. Hole 1 is a 360-foot par 3. You've got OB chain link fence way to the right. Amando early off the tee plays through a gap out into this open green. Most players are looking to throw some kind of pushing hyzer. But we've got Dylan here, forehand specialist, and it looks like he's going for a kind of a late turn flexing forehand.
It's either really good or way in
It's like he got pin high on that. So next on the tee here, we got Zach Sisson. And Matt, I was going to ask you, we're playing a slightly different layout in this round, correct?
That's right. So round 1, we played to the same baskets, but we played from the white tees. So slightly shorter layout. This final round layout is going to be meant to challenge the players a little more, kind of see the best players rise to the top through the challenging play. It looks like Andrew went with that more traditional backhand hyzer route. Might have got caught up early. And Eric is going to be looking to do that same shape. You're kind of aiming at that big tree in the middle on hyzer with a glidey disc. It looks like he pulled it a little wide, but no, that's pretty good. That's a circle 2 putt.
Yeah,
See if
great
you can
shot.
start the round off with a long birdie putt.
Yeah, I should mention that Eric is our tournament director. I believe this is the third or fourth. And it looked like Zach left the forehand there, just kind of chipped up. He'll play into the rough, but he should have an easy up and down there.
almost pegged it. Definitely.
Yeah, and Andrew is going to give himself a look at a par. This is a nice starting hole. You know, it's not too challenging, but it requires our players to hit the gap off the tee. And if you don't, you know, you're left with one of these long par putts. And you know, a single bogey on this hole isn't going to kill you. I mean, you can see the hole averaged almost a half a stroke over par. You see Dylan here stepping up to his birdie putt from probably about 40 feet. This can be just a little low off the cage, but you're not mad starting your round with a par on this hole.
Yeah, not at all. There's a great putt there to start his round from Andrew, taking par. And as you mentioned, Matt, not one of the harder holes, but very few birdies. I believe there's only one birdie on the day by Frank Ole.
Yeah, shout out to Frank. Frank, if you're watching this, comment what you threw off the tee, because I'm curious. Big Discmania guy, so I'd like to know what he threw. Maybe an FD, perhaps an FD3. Anyway, that takes us into hole 2. It's a par 5, 230 meters. Players are looking to hit this gap off the tee with a drifting backhand or pushing forehand. Get just short of this log. Second shot, you're going to want to get up to this corner as close as yellow basket as you can. That's 2 really good shots, followed by what could be a simple chip shot out the gap. There's OB surrounding the basket. But yeah, players just looking to get through this first gap off the tee, and then it is off to the races.
Yeah, it looks like Dylan's playing a nice controlled shot down the middle there. 755 or 54-foot hole, par 5. You don't have to really bite off too much distance on your tee shot. You really just want to play for some placement. You could see here, it's like
Didn't quite get flat, but I'll take it.
Andrew's doing the same, just playing for the center of the fairway.
Yeah, this is a hole where being 750 feet as a par 5, you don't need a ton of distance off of this tee. Really, it's just about hitting this first gap and getting yourself some good footing for your second shot.
Let's see here if Zach can pick up a good spot, recover from that early bogey. It looks like he got to a pretty similar spot that Andrew did. He should be able to manage there. Only it looks like Eric's a little out of position compared to the rest of the card.
Eric's in there looking for Shea Scott's Vinny Destroyer that he lost about 30 minutes before this.
That's kind of him.
Shea Scott, PA legend, absolute bomber. He was here today. Caused a pretty gnarly backup on this hole, considering lost disc, had to re-tee. Very unfortunate, but he did end up getting it back. Someone actually found it just today, the morning of recording this.
Just for the record there, Eric was actually looking for his mini. It got lost in that rough. And it looks like he's out again. He hit a pretty early tree. He's going to try to get back in position here. It looks like he may have found, he got some distance, but may have found the other side of the rough.
Andrew, not exactly in an ideal spot off the tee. Finds a couple trees on his second. Couldn't tell where it kicked to. So we'll see. Zach here with a nice lean out, lefty forehand. And again, not looking for two. Oh, and that is just an unfortunate kick there.
Yeah, and it looks like Dylan has an opportunity here to really kind of put himself in better position than the entire card. He's lining up a big forehand, fading out to the right, and it looks like he's hit the fairway again, and he should be in really great position here, really close to that yellow basket.
Yeah, he'll kind of have two gaps to choose from if he wants to go with like a spiking forehand out that left gap or just a slower backhand out the right gap. He'll have some options from there for sure.
So you've got Eric lining up his fourth shot. He's going high. It's like he's trying to go over some trees.
Oh, he's feeling dangerous. I like this.
I was just trying to get safe.
Looks like he landed in bounds. We saw the out of bounds surrounding the basket there, but I think he's safe. He should be around circle 2.
Andrew's going to play this right gap. Just a nice backhand hyzer approach. Tickled a couple leaves, but that'll leave him around circle's edge.
Yeah, give him a little bit of a tester there for his par, I believe. And then Dylan's trying to chip up. He's chipped it low, and he's in the circle. He probably would have maybe liked a better effort than that, but he's a solid putter. He should be able to knock that down. Good birdie opportunity.
Eric showing some nice touch with a nice floaty putter approach, and Zach lining up his long look for birdie. And he cashes it. What a putt by Zach. That's got to be 50 feet at least for birdie.
And that's how you recover from that early bogey. Let's take a look at this again in slow-mo. Great jump putt. Right in the heart of the chains there. That's got to feel good to recover and start your round over.
Here's Andrew, long look for par. Ooh, just a bit low on that effort there.
Yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of wind out there. Was it pretty steady most of the round?
Yeah, there was some on and off wind in some of these open holes. This green definitely being a little less protected than some of the others. You definitely felt the wind on some of these longer putts out here.
Yeah, we'll see how that comes into play. Course is looking absolutely spectacular, though.
Yeah, this club is very active. They're always looking for ways to improve the course. In fact, a lot of these blue baskets that we're going to see today, they were installed in the last year. So this layout is going to be pretty new for a lot of the players who haven't been to Greystone recently. Next, we're going into hole 3. We've got an uphill par 4, 505 feet. Players are looking to just hit this gap and with a fairway or some distance, some might be going distance driver, land in the middle, and then pick one of the gaps you have in the second fairway, get up to the basket, give yourself a look for the birdie.
So let's see, Dylan's gonna finally have to throw a backhand off the tee here. We'll get a look at it, and he rips it right down the middle, and that's just absolutely perfect placement. He's definitely feeling it in the first 3 holes.
Yeah, and that right side is nice because he can throw a straight backhand, and depending on where he is, he might be able to utilize his forehand as well. So it's a pretty ideal spot for Dylan. And Zach's just looking for a little more turn on that.
I'll see Andrew opting for backhand here. Similar shot here, I think, to what Dylan had. Maybe a little bit low out of the hand. He pulled it a little to the right, so he's probably going to have to kind of straddle out from some of those trees for his next shot.
Eric playing a bit of a flip up, a little low, gets caught up on that hill a little early. That's a pretty common miss for this hole is you're throwing something fast and you release it just a little low. You don't quite get the height to clear that hill and you just get caught a little early on in the fairway. But should be no problem from there. Throws a nice upshot, should be able to get up and down and get his 4. Same thing with Andrew. He really wants to get that up by the basket, but from where he's at, he should be able to get his 4.
Zach throws another forehand. It looks like he contacted a tree, so he's going to probably be even outside of circle 2. And Dylan just laces it.
Yeah, you're going to see that green disc a lot from Dylan today. That's his berg. Dylan gets along very well with his berg. Yeah, and I have a feeling we're going to be seeing it a lot on these touchy approach shots to some of these unique greens that Greystone has. There's a lot of rocky and hilly greens here at Greystone. Very scenic. Just an iconic New Jersey course.
Looks like we got a few putts here to clean up, mostly pars. I mean, I think Dylan's probably taking the lone birdie here.
Yeah, it's funny. This hole doesn't appear to be that difficult, but it played right around par. If you don't get through that gap cleanly, you do have some work to do. So that just shows you where you can get with an ideal tee shot and how that sets you up for the birdie, and you know, shows you that the par can still be relatively straightforward if the drive's not ideal.
And we'll check in our leaderboard here. It's like Dylan's opening up the round at 2 down. Looks like Chase lead and Chase card struggling a little bit at even par. So Dylan is really kind of working his way into that lead.
Yeah, and that's going to take us into hole 4. This is a really fun hole. It's a downhill 435-foot par 4. Players are just looking to throw a backhand that's going to push straight and left kind of at the same time. Usually it's a more neutral disc you can put on hyzer. There's a couple trees to miss, but if you get the angle right, you can get way down there for a nice simple approach. This is a little low from Dylan, but he gets a lot of distance. Curious to see what he has from there.
See Zach lining up a lefty backhand here.
Big old skip.
Looks like he's shaping the fairway pretty well. He contacted a late tree, but got pretty far down there. It's a shame because I think he was going to be right in the middle of the fairway, maybe even 50 to 100 feet more down. And it looks like Andrew, unfortunately, contacts first available, and he's going to be back by the tee pad during his second.
Yeah, and Eric's getting this up to flat. This is more what you're looking for, and even that gets way down the fairway. It's a nice shot. You want it to push as straight as you can for quite a while, and then about 80% through the flight, you want it to start moving left. It's a very touchy shot that you still want to throw with some power. And yeah, there's just nothing over here. The white tee is a little farther left of that, and you have kind of an open fairway. It looks like that's actually where Andrew ended up after his second. And he's got more of a clean fairway to throw down to the basket, but that middle section between the blue tee and the white tee fairways, there is just nothing there.
Looks like Dylan's going to have to scramble for the first time today, and he does a tremendous job just getting a lot of distance, getting down there. Going to give himself a look there, maybe just outside the circle.
Yeah, this green, you'll see when we get down there, is very, very sloped. It can run away from you very quickly. There's a lot of rocks around the basket. That I even saw a couple putts where somebody tried to lay up and they hit that rock in front of the basket and it just picks up and rolls to 50 feet. So this is not a green that you want to mess around with. If you're putting, you want to make sure you're putting with confidence. You don't want to be missing low on this.
Yeah, and for a shorter par 4, it still played over par, just slightly over par. Maybe that has to do with this green here, and you can see it kind of spoke that into existence there. Unfortunately for Eric, he's going to roll all the way to the bottom of the green and roll outside the circle.
Yeah, and that's just what happens with this hole. I mean, best drive of the group, shortest approach. He's just trying to get up and down from pretty short distance to get his birdie, and he throws it pretty well, but gets that roll, and that's what everyone's out here trying to avoid on this one.
Yeah, and Zach's got this death putt here. Great pace, great height, right in the center of the chains.
Nice thing about this green is you roll down. For the most part, you have an unobstructed putt. So Eric can give that a bid. It comes up just short, but you know, no harm done. He'll still take his par. He'll get out of there. Picking up almost quarter of a stroke on the field. Hole 5. This is a par 3, downhill, 100 meters. We're throwing out and around this tree. Basket's just tucked into the woods. A lot of players are just going to throw a spike forehand. Zach, backhand. Some players will go up the right side of that big bush. But most players I saw this weekend are going to use the airspace out here to the left. That looks a little wide from Zach. That's going to crash in. Might have a long look from C2.
And I noticed there are a ton of trees around the basket inside the circle. So I imagine you could land within 20, 25 feet and have to have a full stretch straddle putt for your birdie. And Dylan's trying to crash in kind of a similar line. Didn't see exactly where that landed, but I imagine it was probably pretty close to the circle.
Yeah, and this is that up the gut line that I was talking about earlier. And it looks like Eric gets a little caught up, doesn't quite commit to that line out to the right.
Got Andrew here,
good.
yeah, really wide, giving it some width, crashing in, and it looks like might be parked.
Yeah, this hole's tricky. It says it's 327, but really it plays a little shorter than that, and somebody playing blind They think, oh, I got to throw a forehand 327. A lot of players actually tend to miss long on this shot because they overestimate the distance that the basket is into the woods. And Zach, he's just going to make good on that, probably 40, maybe 50 feet. Seems like he doesn't lack any confidence on the putting green based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, no, that was another great circle two putt from Zach, and Dylan follows suit. Not giving anything up here to Zach, maintaining that three-stroke lead.
No, and Dylan mentioned, I mentioned earlier, playing blind. Dylan, this was actually his first time at this course, was this weekend. So he played the round one layout blind, and he's playing this layout blind as well. It's not too different from yesterday, but he put together a bogey-free 9-down effort yesterday playing blind. So looking to see how he can follow that one up today.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. For anyone who's played a tournament blind before, you know how difficult it is.
It is. And speaking of difficult, hole 6, we're entering into kind of a tricky little stretch on the course. The holes aren't terribly difficult, but you've got this creek now on the right-hand side, this body of water. This is a subtly left to right moving shot that you want to kind of land flat. You'll see Zach's throwing kind of a force over sidearm, and doesn't quite look like yeah. So he gets that angle, gets it to sit flat, runs past the basket a little bit, but that's kind of the shape you want. Is you want something that's just going to pan right, stay flat, and not have any extreme flare skips into the water.
Yeah, that was some pretty tremendous ground play there. It was like a bounce, and then Dylan's opting for a huge air shot, and you do have all those trees, so you can just kind of play plinko there, hit one, and hopefully it'll knock you down by the basket, kind of what Dylan did right there.
Andrew getting a bit of a close shave there with one of the trees, and he's going to be right there in circle 1 for birdie as well.
Yeah, let's see if Eric can get his round going here. Birdie would go a long way. And he's got it, unfortunately turned over a little bit, catches a tree, so he's going to be still out of position, having to throw an upshot.
Yeah, and this approach shot is no joke because you still have to throw it. It's not like you can just throw a jump putt, and you got to just place it soft on this green. A lot of rocks and roots that can just pop your disc up, and you're rolling in the water.
And that was tremendous patent pending, and another amazing putt by Zach. He didn't even watch it go into the basket, just looked down, picked up his mini, knew it was in there, and that's turkey there, 3 birdies in a row.
Andrew, not quite a death putt. He gets to putt down at the water a little bit, but as long as he catches metal, this thing should stay safe. And there, puts it right in the middle. That's perfect.
Yeah, let's see where Dylan landed. I couldn't exactly see, but it should definitely be in the circle based on where Andrew was putting.
I think he's parked. I think I can see his disc under the basket.
Yeah, we're still, Eric's still out, so you're right. And a good cleanup there from Eric. That was a really great patent pending shot. Didn't want to overlook that. Tremendous approach shot by Eric.
Yeah, that was his drive, just right under the basket. That's some fortune right there on this hole. It looked like that one got away from him a little bit, but...
All right, let's look at the leaderboard again. We'll check in. It's like Zach picked up a bit here with that turkey, so he's 3 back from Dylan. The others on lead card and chase card are a little bit behind. We'll see if anyone else can make a move on the last 3 holes here, the front 9.
Speaking of making moves, this is the second hole of our 3-hole stretch where things can get a little tricky. This is hole 3, 281. This is a very precarious green with a lot of options. You'll see kind of a turnover gap that a lot of guys are going to throw. It looks like Zach is actually throwing out to the right. Yeah, he's going to take this middle gap, flex it out into the airspace that's just to the right of the basket, crashes in, and that is very fortunate to have hit that tree and sat, because if that kept rolling, that's going straight into the water.
It looks like Dylan here is going to opt for the forehand, so he's going to take the left side gap, Look to crash down and hopefully just stick and not roll. And it looks like he caught a tree in circle 2, so we'll be able to give that a little bit of a bid.
I like the commitment to this line. Going through that skinny middle gap. Get a nice little fortunate tree, and you're just hoping that thing sits down in time.
Yeah, and oh, great tree. I was going to say the amount of flex he put on that disc must be pretty stable to come back, fight back for him. It's a really nice line.
Yeah, that is some presidential love for your course president here. Something I like about this hole, it produces a lot of these awkward C2 layups, circles edge putts where you're putting down at the basket, and really any miss has the same chance of rolling OB. So players are going to really have to think through how they want to throw their layups, or if they want to give it a bid like Dylan just did, trying to just find the safest way to land the putt.
I think
Andrew, after about a 60-foot roll, this is what he's got for his birdie.
seems overall you'd be pretty satisfied with a par on this, even though it's one of the shorter holes on the course. But I think a lot can go wrong if you roll away and with the OB down there. But Angie taking a birdie there on the card, so played it perfectly. Definitely a tricky shot, that's for sure.
Yeah, it really depends on how your round's going. You know, if you run into some trouble early, you get to this hole and you're kind of thinking, all right, this is a short hole, I got to birdie it. Guys like Dylan and Zach right now, you know, they're playing pretty good and they just want to get through it clean. Hole 8, another par 3, 244 feet. We're going out through this gap and then out to the right on the small island to the blue basket, surrounded by water and an OB path behind it. A lot of players are making a play down to the yellow basket and then taking a long birdie putt. Looks like Zach is going low flex, and that just comes up short, and that's going to be out of bounds.
I think he crossed though on the island. I thought I saw the grass flare, so he should be able to take his disc on that side of the island.
Yes, yeah, he should have a relatively short putt for par.
And
This is
looks
more
like
the
yeah, no, I was gonna say this looks like a really hard shot for right hand backhand to make the island. So yeah, I think that's kind of your traditional play, bail out and then try to make the long putt across the water.
yeah, you're rewarded with a pretty safe run at it. Um, and yeah, just a pretty simple, just pushing hyzer backhand. Looks like Dylan gets caught up in some trees early.
Looks like Eric's also gonna go right hand backhand, probably opting to play the left side, try and make the long putt. And it looks like he got all the way through, so he should have the clean putt.
You know, I'm not so sure about that, Brett.
How did he got cut up early?
Yeah, it looks like he's got a long little toss down to the basket. That's easy. That's very well done.
Yeah, great upshot.
It's very awkward. It's very downhill. So that short, touchy half throw, half putt from in between some trees is actually a little nervy, to be honest with you. Like even here, Andrew's in a pretty open spot, but you really got to be focused when you're throwing these approaches.
And thankfully, they did see that Zach had crossed the island, so he'll have that easy tap in there for par. It's like Dylan's going to take his meter off the water.
Yes, important rule for anyone who's new to disc golf. even if your disc doesn't go out of bounds, if you're within a meter of an OB line, you still get that meter relief.
All right, and that'll wrap up hole 8 with some pars, and we'll go to our final hole on the front 9. Looks like a water carry.
Yes, hole 9, par 4, 531 feet. We're throwing over the water. It's about a 340-foot water carry. You want to throw it about 380 to get to an ideal landing zone. And then you're throwing second shot up to this pretty protected basket up on a hill. Today we had a ripping left to right kind of head crosswind. So not really a great shot, kind of fighting against this right to left moving shot. This headwind is kind of fighting against the disc. Most players are just going to go over stable disc with this spin and just get it left and get it safe. It's a little short of where you want to be, but Zach's safe and he'll find something from there.
Yeah, and this plate is the 6th hardest hole on the course, and that wind probably had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, and you can see Andrew kind of gets stood up, and he just crosses. Wow, that's a big shot.
Yeah, he's kind of unlucky with that little counter skip back towards the water, but he's safe there, and he should be able to take his meter off the water. We'll see what Dylan's going to go with. Similar line. He's going long, but he turned it over. He's got to hope that that's got a lot of stability, but didn't look like he got to the land. I don't even think he got to the grass. Is there a drop zone, Matt?
Yeah, he should be proceeding to the drop zone from there. I believe it's the red tee is the drop zone. So very generous drop zone. Eric's going to land safe right by the path.
He's in the perfect spot.
Yeah, Dylan here, he's going to be throwing his 3rd shot from this red tee drop zone. He's probably about 200 feet out from the basket. Just wants to get up and down to save his par at this point.
It looks like he progressed to the top of the hill, so we'll have a look.
Don't roll.
And it looks like Eric landed right in the middle of the path, and his upshot's going past the yellow, so he'll be putting up in the circle at the blue basket. Really good approach shot there through the trees.
Yeah, and you hear him saying don't roll the second he throws it. A lot of these guys, they're not really aiming for the top of this hill. They're trying to throw something to kind of the base of the tree just short of the blue pin and just land something flat and take your uphill 20-foot putt. You hit that hill, a lot of guys can get unlucky, catch some edge, and actually roll all the way down out of bounds. And that's, again, just another safe play that gets you the birdie look, looking at it from 20 feet.
Looks like Dylan still has some work to do here with a little upshot. So he's going to be taking his first bogey of the day.
First bogey of the tournament. It's very impressive on this course.
See if Zach can get another one of these long putts here. Yeah, it's like he just pulled it to the left, but easy tap in there.
Yeah, and that's the preferred miss as a lefty putter with that wind coming left to right from down the hill. If he leaves that a little too high or undercommitted, that's just going to lift his disc and just toss it right and go back down the hill. So I'm sure he'll be happy to just have a simple tap in 4.
Yeah, and great putt there from Andrew. You know, pretty close to the basket, but anytime there's wind and you got to expose the flight plate to that wind, there's always an interesting chance something bad could happen. And unfortunately, you see there with Eric, it's like he putted a little bit too high in the chains. Maybe the wind lifted it in there, and that's the result.
Yeah, usually these Innova 28s, they're usually pretty reliable. You don't see a ton of that dead center spit out, but at some of those extreme angles, and like you said, with the wind, really anything can happen out here. So
All right, let's take a look at our lead card score here. We could see Dylan having the 1-stroke lead over Zach, followed by Andrew at 8 down and Eric at -4, looking to get on track on the back 9. And look at our overall leaderboard. You notice anyone on the chase card moving up at all, Matt? Or we got a kind of a lead card race here?
Oh, well, there's Kevin Sheehan from 3rd card. He's got a pretty good front 9 going at -4. Same with Phil Rascona, making some pushes.
Yes, we got a Heiser Media disc golf quiz question for you. What year was Greystone Woods built? Matt, any guesses? I know Stafford went in around 2012.
Yeah, Greystone, it's been a staple in the New Jersey community, but I'm not sure. I feel like it's been around forever, man.
Yeah, well, we'll have to tune into the back 9 to find out.
Yeah, be sure to check out the back 9 coverage to see how the final round at the 2026 New Jersey State Championships concludes.